Hi boys and girls. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how we can use clues in books and writing to figure out words that we might not know what they mean. Now, this is something we've talked a little bit about already in school, but I want to go over this again because I know that you guys can be really good at figuring out what unknown words might mean. So, we've been reading our story for the last few days, The Magic Tree House Afternoon on the Amazon, and it has been a really fun and enjoyable story. But there are probably some words in this story that you might not know what they mean, and you're going to be doing an activity in just a couple days using these words that we might not know. But there's some clues hiding in the story and hiding in the sentences of this book that can help us figure out what they mean. So we're going to have to be word detectives to figure out, what do I think this word means? Why did the author put this word in this sentence? So, when you're using clues within writing and within books, not just this book, any book really, you are using what's called context clues to figure out what they mean. That's kind of a big word, context clues. Context clues are things that an author puts in a book or in a sentence to help you figure out what it might mean. So, the clues to help you figure out the meaning or the definition of that word are usually in the same sentence. So, it helps to go back and reread the sentence again. Think about how the word is used. And you also need to think about, what is the story about? What are the details of the story? What is the main idea? What is the message that the author is trying to teach us? So, in our book Afternoon on the Amazon, we know that it's all about Jack and Annie. They go in their magic tree house and they're going on an adventure in the Amazon rainforest and on the Amazon River. So, the big idea of this story is that they're discovering all these amazing things around them in the Amazon. So, I'm going to go back and I'm going to read you a sentence that has a word in it. Now, this is a word that some of you guys might know, but I'm just using this as an example of how to use your context clues. So, in chapter 4 of the story, we come across a sentence that says, "She and Jack peered around the quiet forest. Jack felt unseen eyes watching them." Okay, so I'm going to pretend here that I don't know what the word unseen means. So if I'm reading my story and I come around that, Jack felt unseen eyes watching them, I'm going to ask myself, what are unseen eyes? I don't know what that means. So to figure out what that word might mean, I'm going to go back a little bit further. I'm going to back up to just a couple of sentences before that. So right before that, we have a few sentences, and I'm going to read this out loud to you. "Oh man," said Jack. He closed the book and looked around. "There are tons of creatures down here. We just can't see them." "Really?" whispered Annie. She and Jack peered around at the quiet forest. Jack felt unseen eyes watching them. Okay, so I think I understand this a little better now. So Jack and Annie are in the Amazon rainforest, and they've been reading in their book about all of the different creatures that live there. Now, when they look around, he notices that they don't see the creatures. He says there's tons of creatures down here. We just can't see them. And then we go back to that sentence. She and Jack peered around at the quiet forest. Jack felt unseen eyes watching them. So if they're looking around and they're not seeing any creatures, but he's feeling unseen eyes, I think that unseen means that there are eyes of creatures that are hiding somewhere beyond the trees that they just can't see. So unseen means not seen. So what I just did, I went back, I thought about what the author was telling us about. I thought about what they were describing. Remember, when we read our chapter book, it's super important that you guys are really listening to the words and the sentences, because there's not always pictures to help us out. We really have to focus on those words. Sometimes if we close our eyes and we imagine what we're hearing somebody read to us, we can create that clear picture in our head. So this author of this book really gives us some wonderful vivid images so we can pretend that we're seeing what Jack and Annie are seeing. So now I know that unseen means not seen. See how easy that is? You can just go back a few sentences or within the sentence itself that that word is in and try to figure out what the author is telling us. Why are they using that word? What is the main idea? What are they trying to describe right now? So I think that you guys are ready to be able to practice using context clues on your own. So you are going to find in your folder a sheet that has some sentences from our book. All of our words are going to have to do with our Afternoon on the Amazon Magic Tree House book. Now, some of these you might have some sort of idea of what they mean, but some of them you might not. But I have put the full sentence in there. If you need to go back to the videos of Miss Carson reading the book, you can do that because sometimes it helps to reread or to listen to something more than once. So I want you on your sheet to write what you think the unknown words, the unknown vocabulary words mean, and you can even illustrate a picture because, again, in our chapter book, I'm going to show you guys, most of the pages, now we do have some pictures, most of the pages are just words. So if you would like to illustrate what you believe the unknown word means, you may do that as well. So make sure you're using those context clues. Think really hard. What is the author telling me? What are the clues in the sentences around this word? What is happening at this point in the story? And that is how you can figure out what a word means.